My name is Gail Ems. I'm an Olympic silver medalist in badminton. I retired in 2008 and now run my own consultancy firm.
So did you ever expect your love for badminton to actually turn into something you pursue as a career?
I never ever thought that being a badminton player could be a job, because growing up it was just for fun. Well, I say fun in the fact that I loved winning competitions and that was my fun. But for me it was just about having fun with your friends, trying to beat my mum on the badminton court, and like I say, having a ranking in England, for instance. Sport was never seen as a job. I remember going to school once and talking about sport as a career, and they looked at me and went, "Oh no, dear, sport isn't a proper job. You must have a plan B, C, D, or just put badminton right at the other end of the spectrum." So I always thought that badminton was always going to be a hobby, that badminton would be my amateur fun thing and never ever as a career.
How does it feel to have won medals and done your country proud in a sport that you love?
I look at my medals and I'm just filled with pride, really. I think for me it represents every single person that helped me. And I mean that, I could stand there and if I have a bad day I might wear the medals for a bit of a laugh, but for me there were so many people on my journey. I would never have made it, I would have never have won those medals if it wasn't for a whole load of people that supported me, that motivated me, that, just encouraged me to be me and to keep going for it when there were many days where I wanted to give up. So I wish I could cut them up and give them out to people, but if I did that, I wouldn't have any left for myself, sort of.
Kind of going back to, I guess, what you said about people saying that you shouldn't kind of pursue it as a sport, and then you saying sort of that you didn't ever think you would. What do you think you'd actually have done if you hadn't pursued badminton?
If I didn't have sport in my life, if I didn't have sport as a career path, then I definitely would have gone along the lines of a medical profession. I loved anything with doctors or hospitals or physiotherapy, anything like that. I was actually quite a bit of a science geek at school, so I think I was pushed into that sort of area. So I did, maths, chemistry and biology A-levels, and I always had in the back of my mind that physiotherapy was going to be my career choice. And even when I was competing, if I got injured, that was always at the back of my mind that I could always pursue that because I had that education behind me, but still haven't got around to that yet, so I'm doing okay not to go back to school.
Always something for the future then?
Yeah, no, I'm too old now, I think.
What advice would you give to someone wanting to pursue a career in sport but maybe doubting themselves? Sort of how would you encourage them?
Career in sport is such a short shelf life. You have to give everything. You can't ever not give 100%. Giving 50% in sport is not enough. Giving 80% in sport is not enough. If you're going to do it, you have to give everything. If you're comfortable by pushing yourself to 100% every single day, because this is what you believe in, this is your passion, then you have to do it. Don't do it, a little bit. You have to do it full on. And I can promise you now, the rewards are incredible. Sport is a fantastic bubble, it's unique. There is something so special about it, special about the people, the places you go, that camaraderie, that team spirit, something so passionate and so energetic about it that don't ever regret not doing it, because you don't want to be one of those people who say, "Oh, if only I could have done that." Well, could you have? Could you? Because you never ever want to be asking those questions.
Yeah, definitely. And it sounds like it's a lot harder than people kind of think.
It's really, really hard. It's physically hard, obviously, because it's sport and you're pushing yourself and you have to go out of your comfort zone in endurance and power and strength. But it's also mentally hard. People don't realise your body can do it, but if your brain's going, oh, it's really hard to get yourself going. Sport is an emotional roller coaster. You'll win, you'll lose, you'll win, you'll lose. And to go that up and down mentally as well, that is what takes it out on so many people. That's why people give up. How do they get back up when they've lost? And that's really, really tough.
Yeah, and I suppose it's like really challenging, sort of motivating yourself every day when you just really want to, you know, be hungry.
Stay in bed, yeah. Yeah, you can't do things. You have to sacrifice a lot for sport. You cannot drink, for instance. You cannot have certain foods. You can't go to your mate's wedding because you've got a competition somewhere else. And all these little things do weigh up, and that is why you have to go all or nothing. But then, like I say, the people you meet, the places you go is incredible. And I think about all those times when I thought, oh, it's, you know, my mate's party, or, oh, this, you know, what experiences I've had and what I've learned from sport compared to a party or a shopping trip or a date. You know, that I know I can say, well, you know what, I'm so proud that I stuck at it. I did all right, yeah.
So could you tell me a bit more about what your current role is, what you're doing now, and what you enjoy most about it?
Well, I've got quite a few little things what I do right now, but firstly I'm a mum. So I'm a mum of 2 young boys, Harry and Ollie, they're 7 and 4, so that's my first role, and believe me, being an Olympian is a lot easier than being a mum. I'll say that now. I also have my own consultancy firm, so what I do, because of sport, I have a fantastic network. So whether it's, you know, my sport badminton, or if it's Olympic connections, or just that world, I know people in that sport. So what I do is I help brands get into sport, and I love it. I love the fact that, you know, we can, in a marketing and PR sense, we can take a brand and really expand it into the world of sport and see great progress. I also do the motivational speaking, so I go into corporate businesses, and I talk about what it's like to be in sport and how they can take those lessons into business. And I think that's really good fun as well, seeing people question business mindset and think, well, actually, you push yourself in a sporting contest. How do I push myself in life? What can I do? What can I achieve? And that's what I love, seeing people go on their journey as well.
Yeah, that's great. Last question. Do you feel like it's harder or even less encouraged for women to reach the highest level of sport? Do you sort of think they have to push themselves that bit harder than men?
I think it's hard for women in sport, and the fact that the rewards and the sacrifices that women have to do, it is harder in general. Okay, so, you know, some sports there will be a bigger, you know, gender equality for women. For instance, gymnastics, and the hockey girls are doing brilliant at the moment, showcasing women's hockey. You've got other sports where the women will always be the underdog. You know, if, say, women's football, women's rugby never ever competes with the guys, and the guys, it's a national sport. And, you know, you see the money that is thrown around Premier League clubs. Women will never ever get that status because we just are not on an equal playing field in sport in general. In life, growing up, boys will play more sport than girls. It's just the way lifestyle is. And until we get that culture change, it's always going to be hard. So yes, it is difficult. But you know what? Why not be a role model for people? Why not be a role model and say, you know what, I know it's tough, but I'm still going to do it anyway. And that's what I love, seeing women just going out and rewriting the books, changing the record, and saying, well, you know what, we can do it, and we're going to show how we're going to do it.
Yeah, that's great. That's all my questions, but is there anything else you'd like to add at all?
I feel like it should be a deep meaning message now, like world peace, but I don't know. Just say, always say it's never ever.